We live in a closed system with finite resources, with a finite ability to withstand a certain population count, and the people at the top think that they need to own all things, all capital, all resources, all access to power, and that everyone else only exists to give them more access to wealth and power. And on a long enough timeline, it's just simply not sustainable. For a hot minute, there was a social contract, at least in this country, where the people at the bottom made living, thrivable wages. It's why boomers have access to so much wealth right now. The average, go look up, I'm not even going to give you, go look up the average age of a first time home buyer 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and today. Go look it up. Go look it up. No one has anything. When it's all said and done, something is going to break. And when it does, go look up how many people are in credit card debt compared to 20 years ago. It's going to pop and it's going to be biblical.
All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Rakah, Quadash, that belongs to apostles of the JMS, and sincere Shalom to those out here pushing his truth and sincerity. So, it's here it is. I'm seeing probably more and more people talk about how, of course, the main topic has always been about prices. That's been the biggest thing, but everything else that's coming up with it is affecting them. So it's funny because they're talking about something we've been talking about years prior before the problem with prices, including all the diseases and stuff that might be coming with it. And here it is. You're talking about buying houses, people being credit card debt, prices being high, and a whole list of other things that go on with it. Now, to go further with it, as a lot of people don't understand, is when it comes to a lot of stuff that goes on when it comes to prices, you got to look about what is the main cause of it. Of course, you can always say it's the people in charge, which would be correct. Now, but the big decision has to be made of where does this money and resource go to, and in a lot of places, I'm gonna say this one in particular, America has to put a lot of their resources and money into the military because of war. Now, what people don't to go further into that is it's just not this place that's going to suffer with that, but the whole world with it, because every country does it. Every country, when it comes to war, ends up putting a lot of their resources and money into the military. Because when it comes to winning a battle, you need your soldiers in top shape, right? Well, good luck with America on that one. And of course, with this place, the more problems this place has, the more money these rats get with it, including making money off of everything else that comes with it, including war. So, to go into what he's talking about, because he mentioned that bubble's going to pop and it's going to be biblical, this is Haggai 1 and 6. And it says, Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to be to put into a bag with holes. And there goes your biblical part right there. It is, at least that's one of the biblical parts. This is the outcome of what people get when they place their soul, pride, and heart and soul into this place. Understandable, because a lot of us was probably like that before we came out of the truth. I mean, before we came into the truth, Salaki. So, this ain't hard to believe that they a lot of people found something they want to believe in and they want to go wholehearted with it, just like Rome, Egypt, and so on, and other captivities. But at the same time, leading your faith into heathens and your enemy has never ended well with us, and this is the repercussions of it. Now, actually, he did mention the what is the average age of a first time home buyer. So you see her whatever on my phone. So because you mentioned going back 10, 20, 30 years ago, right? So I put in what is the average age of a first time home buyer in 2010, right? It says in the US 2010, the approximate age of a home buyer is usually 30 to 32. Now, let's say we go back to, let's say 2001, put in a random number. Okay, so 2000, it was 31 to 32. Now let's go back to 1980. The age then was 29, your late 20s, right? So in 1980, it was the age of 29. So not too much of a big jump. Only a couple years difference, right? From 1980 to 2010. Well, let's see what it is in 2020. Ew. Okay, we went up even more years. We went up to 35. In 2020, you had to be 35 for that as the average. And this year, it is 40. So everything's becoming much more harder for everybody to. And that's mind you, that's just for owning a home. Is the average year 40? Now that's not to say some people that's doing more, well off, because you got people in this society, like especially us, some of us that are actually doing very well in this society and actually, able to provide for themselves even at a younger age, and they're still able to do what they want to do, get a house they want to get. But as an average, that's rare at that point. The average is now 40, which means it is a whole lot of a bigger problem now. So going back to the part where you said the bubble's going to pop, it will. And what happens when the bubble pops and everything? Well, I was just about to say the answer, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Everything goes to hell because that bubble is not just the money, but the debt clock itself. That's when you start talking about when all the money is no good at that point. Bank account shut. Nobody has anything. Nobody can draw a card of money from the ATM. Or simple fact is the dollar is completely worthless. You can't buy anything with it. That's when all the robbing looting is going to start happening. And there's nothing these people can really do about it. Because that's exactly what's going to happen as time goes on. What used to be 50 cents of candy back in 1980 or 1970 is what, almost $3 now? So that's a massive jump of anything. A massive jump. Almost $3. Bread $5 now. So this is Isaiah 9:19. It says, "Through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother." Right, and that's with a lot of these people out here. When all this stuff, when it all boils down to what you got to do, everybody gonna start switching to survival mode, bringing the houses and all sorts of other stuff. They don't care if you was the best neighbor or even your own family member. They won't care. But let's continue. It says, "And he shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry, and he shall eat on the left, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm." So even when you go into that, it's also from the right hand, it's talking about trying to seek answers from us, but they ain't gonna find it because by the time all this happens, we'll be out of there. We ain't gonna be on the corners prophesying anymore. because that goes into the famine of the word, right? And on the left, he says, and he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied, because all the struggles they got to go through just to either try to achieve the meal that they've been trying to get, because the luxury life of being able to pick and choose what we want to eat is not going to be there no more. Which, for a lot of people, depending on what I guess their circumstance, or I guess it doesn't matter the circumstance at that point. A lot of people are going to resort to cannibalism, bringing it to homes, eating other people, eating their families. They could be having a child that's trying to that needs to be fed. We're gonna be like, nope, I don't care. Screw that child. They're gonna be like that. That's You can't tell me that has been like what it is in history. You had in history, especially in I forgot what part of Rome it was, but that was a whole family. I think a man ate his own entire family. I had to go into that again. It's been a while since I've gone to it, but it still happens. They don't care. All these things that we're used to is pretty much null and void when everything comes down to survival instinct. The once nice person nerd that you met in school is now a complete savage, really ready to become the the savage version of a YN, and that's your cause. Your fate, the fate of everybody has been sealed, right? So this is Ephesians 6:11. It says, "Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." Right? So I can actually, did I got that? Yeah, that was it. It says, "Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, and against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." And that's what we are doing, because we're warning we're warring against Esau and what he does. And again, once this place falls, that's not to say that some of us won't be scared, but we won't be scared like these people. By the Lord's will, a lot of us won't, because we expected this. We look forward to this place crumbling. Unlike a lot of other people that put their whole power and soul into this place, the Lord has given us the spirit to draw away from that ability to give power to this place and give it to Him, or basically put to go back to serving Him and not serving these wicked idols. So that's why we pray heavy into not being like these people, because they don't understand what's really going to happen. And I mean, they really don't understand, because here it is now. People are making videos about it. Something we've been talking about, and they more likely to heard it from us, but they don't understand it. They don't understand how deep the rabbit hole really goes. And so when it happens, they'll be like, "I would have never thought it would turn out like this." Well, we did, to a degree. May not happen exactly as we imagined it, but it still happened to the way the Lord has given us that vision to see it. These people are screwed. So that's all I wanted to go into with that. So Lord willing, this was a little edifying with that. Shalom.